You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey!
Whoa.
Good morning,
Good morning,
evening, afternoon,
whenever you're listening.
buenos noches, buenos dias, or whatever time of day
That's
it is
Zorro.
for you. My Zorro voice, huh? Here in New Mexico. That is my Zorro voice. Welcome, guys, to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. Don't worry, there will be no more Zorro voice in this episode. But I do want to say, if you're looking for some footage of some nice, quaint Spanish towns along the coast, I've got good news for you guys. Because Video Blocks is launching a new collection featuring hundreds of new Unreal clips, including space, VR, deep water, fantasy, and sci-fi footage. So if you're looking for stuff like that, for free for 7 days, videoblocks.com is going to let you check it all out. Just go to videoblocks.com/drone. I think you really like it. Also, big special thank you to our friends at Charky, which, by the way, our sales have been upticking because people are quickly realizing how tasty it is for how delicious it is. If you don't believe me, 4 ingredients makes it simply better than beef. Why? No cholesterol, high in protein, it's delicious, no nitrates, no chemicals, it's gluten-free, and let's go back to the first point, it's delicious. Try yours today on Amazon. Simply type in your URL bar, charky.love.
Check it out. It's
Check
good
it
stuff.
out.
I just sent some of the kids to school today.
Did you really?
I did. A healthy snack for the kids at school.
It has merged into a snack for Rob to a snack for Rob's kids.
They love it. They kind of fight over it now.
Are you
which
serious?
is unfortunate.
I want to film that.
They've made my kids fight.
Can I
over
film that?
my kids fighting?
Actually, that's probably not a good idea because there could be metaphors with your kids fighting that are not good for society.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're not actually fighting. Maybe bickering is a little bit more accurate. But guys, this is episode number 565, and we're really glad that you're with us. We're going to be talking about something that's actually pretty exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting. And in fact, before we wanted to put this information out, we wanted to verify it. So, because if you remember, we talked about airspace and authorizations last month. We said, hey, March 2nd, things are coming out, and nothing came out. So this time, before we put the word out, we actually verified this information. So thank you, Earl. Good job verifying the information. What are we talking about? Remember those maps, those airspace maps? In fact, I cannot forget to give Rob a photo of those airspace maps to put in this podcast so you can see right now what I'm talking about. Boom.
Sweet. Don't forget.
So there's the grid maps that you guys know about, and there's also this other system of maps that a lot of people don't know about. The FAA took it off the internet. It looks like this. I really like it because it shows you where you can fly. Now, the FAA is saying that beginning April 27th, users are going to have access to all of the facility maps that are UAS maps. These are the UAS-FM. Remember, we called them the drone maps before. But UAS-FM actually stands for Unmanned Aerial System Facility Maps. That's right, you got it. Good job. So they're saying April 27th, they're going to come out, but the tone is changing. No longer will this be, maps with an app that you can make decisions from. You can get airspace approvals. All it's going to be is that they are releasing 200 maps on April 27th. This way you can view the map and you still have to file through the portal. But this way, if your location does not exceed the altitude of that given place, the chances of you getting an airspace authorization are going to be a lot better. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, according to our local FAA office, FAA Washington just hired 10 people to take on these new maps. They said that it was actually only one person taking on all of the exemptions, which, just let that sink in. One person. 37,000 pilots, one person.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And this probably is not a person who's that, and no offense, but there's a certain mindset of, I get there when I get there, and I work on a few.
Yeah.
Work hard and do my best.
Like
but then I leave when I leave, like at 5.
Like the federal appeals court just said last week to the FAA, and the FAA's lawyer, Abby Wright. I think you're just making stuff up. That was my favorite line of that entire court case from last week.
That was pretty funny. So 200 facility maps to start on the 27th, and then they're going to be rolling out more.
Every 56 days.
Okay.
Why is that important? What does 56 days mean?
I have no idea. It's referring to an aeronautical chart production schedule. I don't know what that is.
Exactly. Though. So they update the sectional charts every 56 days.
Oh, there you go. See, I learned something today. I hope you guys did.
So that's why they're saying, hey, every 56 days that we're going to release more maps. So is this a way to get authorization? No, but it is a way to get information to hopefully speed up authorizations. I'm hoping this makes you guys feel a little bit better. It's funny. I just got a request yesterday that was like, it was questionable, like on the line, of a Class D airspace. Like, it is really like on the outskirts of the line. And the client was like, I need something like this week. And because it was so close to the line, I was like, all right, let's go do it. You know, like if I fly from outside. So. Well,
and talking about that, obviously safety is going to be utmost concern of yours. You're not going to be very high.
The thickness of the line itself represents at least 500 feet. So
there you go. Besides that, it's not a complicated flight. It's very, very basic.
Yep.
You're going to get out of the way of manned aircraft. All those things are not going to be an issue, right? So
yeah. So
sense.
In April 27th, this process could change, Rob, where if I could pull up that map and then see how high I could fly, which I guarantee would be up to 400 feet at that specific location, I could then simply fill out an airspace authorization. So
that's if you're within the circle, so to speak.
Correct.
But it could also just very easily show you're right outside of it, right? So it's going to help you figure that out too, not just altitudes.
I'm not sure, honestly.
I would think so. That would be very, very helpful. So you're knowing whether or not you even need to apply for the authorization.
Yes. Okay, so if you're in controlled airspace, I think it's wishful thinking. If you're in controlled airspace, are these maps going to help you understand where you are? The current sectional maps do a good job, but there's obviously a lot of interpretation because of the thickness of the lines, the scale of the map, blah, blah, blah. That being said, will this help you locate your position? Not really. This is going to help you understand what location you can fly to what altitude. Does that make sense? So if you're in controlled airspace, you pull up your phone, app.airmap.io, and you're in that orange circle, you're in controlled airspace.
Okay.
It's going to pull that up. What this map is going to do is say, okay, we see you're in controlled airspace, but we see, you're 3 miles out. You should apply for up to 150 feet. So if you say, I'm going to go to 149 feet, supposedly this is going to make airspace authorizations quick, fast, efficient.
Basically just say, check.
This is like, it's like if we were doing a Google form, like, okay, his location is in B12. Okay, B12 says 150 feet. What's his altitude? 149. Check, pass.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do.
Taking it down from 90 days or whatever to a few hours,
taking
a couple
it
days.
Down, I would say from a geriatric system to the basis of a gathering data system.
Yeah.
And making machine-based decisions.
That'd be fabulous.
Which is funny. I just learned a lot about machine-based decisions in investing, Rob.
Did you listen to a podcast or something?
No, I listened to an entire book.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, the Tony Robbins book?
Mm-hmm, Unshakable.
Cool.
So it's funny they call it the Tony Robbins book. It's really not Tony Robbins.
Well, that's what he's created.
Yeah.
A Tony Robbins world, essentially.
That's true.
So
it's very true.
It works.
It definitely does. But I think this is good news. A lot of people have been talking about the new DJI ADS-B system that they want to, have some way to have a better enforcement. They've talked about these maps. They've talked about other news. We've got another podcast coming out with new news, but I think this is a good thing, a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
So
absolutely. And it would be really exciting as they move forward and you can actually get the approval on the spot via the app. Hopefully that's coming. I don't know if that's possible.
They say December 31st, and people say the proof in that is the fact that a lot of airspace exemptions expire on the 31st.
All right.
So, but a lot of people are just not following the rules. Even if they have exemptions, what I'm seeing is that, like, for example, I saw this girl and this guy post in Florida this weekend that they were flying some event. And I looked the event up, and then I looked up AirNav, and they're flying in a presidential TFR.
Oh my.
Yeah. It's like, just because you have an exemption doesn't exempt you from a presidential TFR. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you need to look up the law, homie. And then I made a joke about, like, you can always tell how knowledgeable a pilot is by the direction of their antennas. And then someone was like, you mean antennae? And I'm like, yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. But no, I said that because a novice pilot never really understands radiometrics and how those dipole antennas work. So it's really interesting if
so they point them?
Yes, which is really interesting. If you are someone hiring a drone operator, a secret to know is if they have their antennas pointed at you while their hands are pointed at you, they don't know very much about flying drones. If they've got their antennas pointed anywhere other than up and like this, like your antennas are like this, because when you hold your remote up, you want the most signal from the edge of that antenna,
most surface
area. Yes.
Right.
You've got a good pilot if they've got their antennas up, so essentially 90 degrees from the controller. So
just
anyway,
to mess with you, I'm gonna always point my antennas at the bird.
Please do, Rob. Now, someone said that they wrote an email in saying I was a little arrogant and whatnot, and I hope that my passion doesn't come over as arrogance, because I never mean to hurt people. I never mean to really be nefarious. I have no problem poking fun at people just because I'm like, come on, guys, let's be real here. This is kind of funny. But I don't mean to ever hurt any of you. So if you guys ever feel like I offended someone, don't be shy to send us a nice note. And
Which he did. Now, the email
Yeah.
you're referring to, I actually think he was very gracious in his opinion.
Yeah,
some have not been. I can assure you, some have not been.
And
because I don't
that's okay.
share everything.
That's okay. But my point in saying this is, guys, that we are here for you. We want to make this the best possible experience. We want to give you the most value, the most information to help you make decisions on limiting risk and liability and maintaining the freedom to fly. So I'm here to help. I don't want to seem like I'm arrogant. Confidence, definitely. Arrogant, it's a fine line, and every day I try to make sure I do not pass that line.
It's a fine line, like you said, and we're all growing and trying to be better people every day. So working towards that end, and we'll never actually be perfect, so we'll just keep working at it.
No one is perfect. I mean, to have that idea is, I think, a flawed idea. Everyone is not perfect. You know, like, we all have our flaws, and that's okay. And I think the quicker you realize that, the more grateful you can be, the more things you can get done. Because when you have a grateful mindset, it's hard to be angry.
That's right. So we are grateful for these maps.
We are grateful
that are about to come out,
that we actually have law on the books. We are grateful that our local FAA office just approved the Drone U fly-in and conference. We are grateful that we still get to do subject tracking at that fly-in and track vehicles in a closed course. We are grateful that we get to do search and rescue training. We are grateful that we get to do thermography training. We are grateful that we get to do obstacle courses like no one else has ever done before. We are really grateful, Rob. I'm very grateful that I got to be the brainchild of a drone event that no one has ever thought of or done before. And I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be like I wish I had a censor button right now so I could cuss and censor it out, but it would be like the freaking Disneyland of drones.
So now nobody's going to really know your enthusiasm because you couldn't cuss, Paul.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I didn't want someone to think I was being arrogant.
Oh, come on. I'll tell you what we're grateful for. That we're going to get to hang out with a bunch of members at that flight.
Amen,
That's
Rob.
the best part about it.
It's going to be a blast. It is going to be so much fun. Because, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Quick and easy, April 27th, new airspace maps to help you fill out the airspace authorization
form. By the way, really
online.
quick, just let you know, it's going to be at www.faa.gov/UAS and that's where you're going to be able to find those maps,
April
right?
27th.
April 27th.
Heard it here first. Share this good news with another pilot who may find it useful. That's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
My name's Rob.
This is Ask Drone U.